Hello everyone, this is Rajendra, and in this particular video we are going to see how to install Docker engine on Ubuntu machine. Okay, so what I have done here is I just typed on the Google how to install Docker engine on Ubuntu. Okay, so the first link that you will get is from the docker.com. Okay, now you can use this web page, and here you will get a step-by-step instruction how you can install Docker on your Ubuntu machine. Okay, so let's start. So if you see, if you want, if already on your machine, if there are Docker installed, any the older versions are installed on your system, in that case, if you want to uninstall that, you have to put this command. Okay, so here what we are doing, apt-get remove docker engine, docker.io, containerd, and runc. Okay, so these are the some package names that we required when you install the Docker. Okay, so that's why if you want to clean the older version, in that case you can remove all this. Okay, now if that's done, now let's in the previous video we have seen that there are two types of Docker versions. Okay, one is a community edition and one is the enterprise edition. Okay, so in our case we are using it freely, so we have to use the community edition. Okay, so the first thing that we need to do is we have to update the system. Okay, so let's do this. Okay, let me just do it, sudo apt-get update. Okay, so what it will do, it will just update the repository. Okay, once the repository is updated, there are some basic requirements to be installed before we install the Docker. Okay, there are some apt transport https package, ca certificate, skull command, GNU-PG agent, and software properties common. Okay, so these are things we need to install, so just ignore these warnings. Okay, now let's install this required softwares. Okay, so on my machine all these are already installed, but if you are on your machine, if it is not installed, you can install it. Okay, now here we need to give set up the GPG key. Why this is required? Because from where this particular Docker will be available on some repository. Now we want to install it on our system, right? So for that we need to copy this global public key. Okay, so for that we need this command, so it will just copy the public key from this particular repo. Okay, so let's add that public key on your system so that the connection between this will be encrypted. Okay, with the public key. Now key is installed. If you want to verify the key, in that case what you can do, we have a command sudo apt key fingerprint. Okay, if you run this, you can see that what is the public key, what is the user ID, what is the version, what is the this subversion and all. Okay, now once that is done, what we have to check is, we have to check if the repository is added on your system or not. Okay, so for that we need to copy this command sudo add apt repository. Okay, here in fact we are adding the repository. Okay, so let's add this. Now if I run this, it will just add that repository in your sources.list file. Okay, now everything is done. Now repository is added, so before installing the Docker community edition, we have to update the repo. Okay, because we updated the sources.list. Okay, so to understand from where I should download this Docker engine, for that we need to update the repo. Okay, so just ignore the warnings. Now once that is done, we have to install we have a command apt install docker c. We want to install CLI and then container.io. Okay, so this is already on my system, so let me just still paste this command. You can see that it's just updating, because maybe on my machine there are some older versions of Docker, so that's why it is just updating. Okay, so let's wait for 1 minute. It is just installing it. Okay, it's a 48%, 50% is done, so hardly it will take 15 seconds more. Now the following new packages will be installed: Docker IO, CE, Docker C, CLI, Pixet. Okay, now it's almost done, it's 87% now. Okay, so now it is removing Docker engine and reinstalling it again, unpacking, now unpacking container.io, installing Docker C, CLI. Okay, so now it's almost done. Now once the installation is done, what next thing we need to do is we have to check the version of it. What is the Docker client version? Okay, so let's go back and see the Docker version. Okay, first see Docker whether installed or not. If let me just Docker enter, do you can see that Docker is installed because it is showing the help. Okay, if you want to see specifically help, what you have to do is Docker -- help. Okay, so it will show this help message. Okay, now if you want to see the version, we have a Docker -- version command. Okay, sorry, I'm giving the wrong command. Docker -- version. You can see that the Docker version that we have installed is this one. Okay, now the next thing that we need to do is okay, once Docker is installed, now if you see there are a lot of commands are available. Okay, we are going to see all of this. Okay, so let's see one by one what are the basic commands or mostly used commands. Okay, so the command that we use frequently to see the image is Docker images. Okay, so you can see that if I do Docker images, there is a one image. Okay, one image is there which is kindest node. Okay, so now if you want to remove the image, what you can do is Docker RMI, Docker remove images, and then you can give the either image ID you can give or the image name you can give. Okay, so in this case the image name is this, image ID is this. Okay, so let's use the image ID. So what it is saying, sorry, Docker RMI image ID. Okay, unable to delete this image is being used by the stopped container. Okay, so there is a container which is running. For that, how we can see the containers running? Okay, if you do Docker PS, it will show all the running containers. Okay, but what it is saying, used by stopped container. Okay, if you want to see the stopped container, what you can do is Docker PS -a. Now here you can see that there are 3 containers which are in a stopped state. Okay, so first remove this container. So to remove this container, we have a command Docker rm, and then you can give the container names. Okay, so here if I do use tab, okay, so in this case as well it will just give all the Docker names. Okay, now here you can see that we removed all these 2 containers, and now we can delete the image. Okay, so let's go back and delete this. If we delete it, you can see that all the layers of that image got deleted. Okay, so now the image is deleted. How we have seen how to see the running container, how to see the exited container or stopped container, and also we have seen how to see the images and how to remove the images. Okay, so the next thing we are going to see, let's say whether Docker is working fine or not. So in that case, what we can do, let's start one simple container. Okay, so how to start sync container? Docker run, we have a run command, and then we can give any image name. Okay, so there is already a image name called hello world on the Docker hub, so I'm just starting that image. So what it is saying, unable to find image hello world latest locally. So now it is going to the remote repository, that is Docker hub, and from there it is pulling that image. Okay, so once pulled, it is showing message hello from Docker. This message shows that your initialization appears to be working correctly. To generate this message, Docker took the following steps. Okay, so how internally Docker works, if you want to see, the Docker client contacted the Docker daemon. Okay, so This CLI is nothing but Docker client. It will contact to the Docker daemon. Okay, then the Docker daemon pull the hello world image from the Docker hub. Okay, then the Docker daemon created a new container from that image which runs the executable that produces the output you are currently reading. Okay, the Docker daemon streamed that output to the Docker client which sent it you to your terminal. Okay, so then again whatever the output of your pod is container is there, the Docker daemon is sending that to the Docker client, and then Docker client is just showing all this information for us. Okay, so to try something more ambitious, you can run a Ubuntu container with this. Okay, so it is showing one more information. So if you want to see what we can do, let's try one more container. But here are some differences. Okay, the first difference, if you see, Docker run, instead of just Ubuntu, I'm just giving -it. Okay, so what this -it is, just open a interactive shell. Okay, this bash is a shell. Okay, so what will happen this time, it will first ask Docker daemon to start the Ubuntu container. Okay, this Docker daemon will check if that container is there on the local machine. If it is there, it will start the container and log in inside the container. If it is not there, it will go to the remote repository, that is Docker hub, pull that Ubuntu machine, and then it will start the Ubuntu. Okay, and then it will log in inside the Ubuntu. Okay, so now if you see step by step what is happening, image is not there, it is going to the Docker hub, pulling that image. Okay, so let's wait to pull that image. Okay, so now image is pulled, almost it's done. Now it is extracting the image. Once pulling is done, now it is showing downloaded newer image, and then with the help of this docker it bash command, we are inside the Docker. Okay, so if you see hostname command, the container ID we are getting. Okay, so how to exit from this, we have a exit command. So now that is done. If you want to see now running container, you can see that there is no running container, right? Because once we exit, the container will be just exit will not show in a running state. Why that is happening? Because there is a nothing which is running inside the container. Okay, so once everything is completed, the task is completed inside the container, in that case it will just exit. Okay, now if you want to see the exited container, here you can see that there are two containers which are in a exited state. Okay, the first one that we started was a hello world, and then the second one was a Ubuntu. Okay, so how we can delete this exited container, we have seen that docker remove, and then you can give the Docker ID. Okay, or their name. Okay, so first is a Seren Shamir and next is a Silly. Okay, so if you see, even though when we are starting any container and we are not giving any name for that container, in that case Docker daemon will start the container and it will give any random name to that container. Okay, so if you want to give any specific name, that also you can do. So let's see how we can do. Okay, so docker run, let me give the image name as nginx. So there are a lot of already available images on the Docker hub. Okay, you can just use their name to start the container. Okay, so now docker run, I want to give the name, so there is a tag called -- name, and I'll give the name as a my nginx, and the image name is nginx. Now if I run this, so what it is showing, unable to find image locally. So now it is pulling that image from the remote repository. Okay, so now it will pull that image and then it will start the container with name my nginx. This time the container has proper name instead of some random string, right? Because this time we are giving the name. If we don't give any name, it will give a Docker daemon will give any random name. Okay, now let's wait. So it's downloading. Once downloading is done, it will extract it. Okay, so once extraction is done, it will start the container. Okay, downloaded newer image for nginx latest. Okay, so now it is done. What it is doing, entry point is not empty, will obtain for there are some other steps also happening in the Docker file. So that is what it is doing. Okay, now if you see, the container started, but it started in a foreground mode. Okay, if you want to start the container in background mode, let's see how to do that. Okay, so let me do the control C here, and if I do docker ps -a, you can see that the container is exited. Okay, so let me remove that first. Docker rm -x. Okay, now it's done. And then now let me docker run -d name -x. Okay, so now image is there, so it will directly start that container. You can see that directly we are getting id. Now if I do docker ps, here now you can see that we can see this container in the docker ps because the container is still running. Okay, and the name is proper -x name is there. Okay, so if you see above, the names were some random string, but this time it's not a random string, it's a proper string, so it is showing it. Okay, now if you see, we downloaded some images. If you want to see that images, with the help of docker images command, you can see all these images. If you want to remove, again we have seen this command docker rmi and give some id. Let me give this first, remove this ubuntu and then hello world. You can see that we are able to delete these images. Okay, but now if I do docker rmi and this nginx image, in this case it should not allow us to delete it. Okay, what it is saying, conflict unable to delete because image is being used by running container, because our container is running, okay, which is using this image. Okay, docker ps. Okay, you can see that our nginx container is running and it is using that particular image. That's why it is not allowing us to delete that image. Okay, now we have seen how to do this. Now if you do docker ps, we can see the running container. Okay, if you want to stop the running container, we have some command docker stop and then nginx. Okay, you can give name or id. So now container is stopped. If you see, if you do docker ps, you won't see that container here, but if you do docker ps -a, you can see that container is existed state. Okay, so now we stop that container. Let's start that container. Okay, so how to do that? We have docker start command. Okay, now if I do docker start, you can see that container got started. And if you see, if you do docker ps, in that case now it will show that your container is there. Okay, your container is there in the ps because it is in a running state. Okay, now we have seen how to see the running container, how to start container, how to stop container. Okay, so there are a couple of more commands like how to pause and unpause container. Okay, so let's try it. Okay, now if you see, the container is running. If I want to see do the pause of container, what I can do, docker pause, and then you can give the container name. Okay, so here I am pausing the container. Now if I do docker ps, you will see that your container is in a pause state. Okay, so how to unpause it? Again we have a unpause command. Again, don't need to remember all the command. If you do docker -h, okay, you will see all this information here. Okay, so you can see that there is an unpause command, unpause all processes within one or more container. Okay, we can give more all the container at a time, multiple containers as well. Okay, so do unpause. Okay, I'm doing unpause. You can see that now if I do docker ps, you can see that now it's up about a minute. Okay, now it is not showing like it's paused or something like that, right? Now if that is done, now if you go above and let's say now this container is running, docker ps is running. Okay, now if you want to log in inside the container, okay, if you want to log inside the container, how you can do that? For that we have docker exec command. Okay, docker exec. Okay, now and to open the shell of that container, we have to use -it. It is for interactive shell, but before that we need to give the container name. and then give any shell, like whatever the shell that supports. There are multiple shells, like bash shell is there, sh shell is there, k shell is there, okay, but mostly bash and sh shells are supported, okay. So let's do that. You can see that the prompt, now we are inside the container, okay. If you do the host name, okay, host name, you can see that this is the container ID, okay. And if you see docker ps, what is the container ID? It's the same, okay. So that container ID is assigned as a docker host, okay, host name, okay. Now once you go inside the container, you can see that whatever the operating system or whatever the file tree that should be available for any operating system, that you will see here, okay. So how to exit out of the container? For that we have to we have a exit command, okay. Now if you see, there are rename as well as restart command, right? That means if you want to rename your container, docker rename, okay, my nginx to your nginx, okay. Let me give the name your nginx, okay. If I run this, you can see that there is no output, but if I do docker ps, you can see that name got changed, okay. Now if you want to restart the container, then again it's a docker restart and then your container name, okay. So now it's restarting, okay. Now it says restarted. If you see, earlier it was showing status up 3 minutes ago, up from 3 minutes, and now if I do docker ps, you can see that status is now up 8 seconds ago, because we have restarted it, right? Now let's see the next command, okay. There are a lot of commands, okay. Now there is a logs. We are going to see only the important commands. There is a logs command, okay. If you want to see the logs of your application which is running inside the container, so for that we have a logs command, okay. So how you can do that? Docker logs and then your container name, okay. Now if I run this, you can see that this is what logs are getting printed inside the container, okay. So that we are just printing it. If you want to store that into the one of any file, in that case you can just use the redirection operator and you can save that log, okay. You can put something like any name, your nginx, okay, your nginx.log, and that logs will be stored, okay. If you do cat your nginx.log, you can see that logs are there, okay. So this is how we can provide the logs. Now let's say, let me again do the docker -h. Now let's come from the start, okay. So next command that we should see is import info, okay. Let's use the docker info, okay, docker info. If you do docker info your nginx, sorry, docker info your nginx, okay, docker info. First let's see the docker info -h. We are missing something here. What it is doing, docker info, we need to provide the options only. So okay, so no need to give the container, just do docker info -f, okay. Format the output using the given Go template. If I just do docker info, okay, so no need to give any output. If you want to just print that docker info, in that case you can just simply put the docker info command, okay. But here we have a lot of interesting information here. Client, okay, client debug mode is false, okay. The client is nothing but the CLI that we are using to interact with the Docker daemon, okay. And now this server is nothing but a Docker daemon. So what all, how many containers are there? Only one container is running one container, pause 0, stop 0. How many images are there? One image is there. Server version is this. Storage driver, AUFS driver we are using. Root directory is this. Backing file system, extfs, total directory 7, directory permission supported true, logging driver JSON, C group FS, plugins, volume local, network bridge. These are the some networks: bridge, host, VLAN, Mac VLAN, null overlay. Then log, AWS logs, fluentd, GCP log. Okay, all this type of logs are supported. Swarm, Docker Swarm is inactive, we didn't started it. Runtimes run C, default runtime this, init binary docker init, container ID version, run C version, init version. Okay, so there is a lot of information. You can see the kernel version, operating system, architecture, number of CPUs for this machine, it's a 4. Okay, total memory is this much, name of the system is archdev. Okay, docker root directory is this one, debug mode false, registry is this one, right? This is the default registry we can see here. Okay, if you want to change, you can definitely do that in the docker config file. Now the next thing is in secure registries. Okay, the registry is available here. Okay, so all this information you can see with the docker info. Okay, so let's see the next command, docker -h. Okay, now there is a docker build, attach, commit commands are there, we are going to see in the next video. Okay, then now this is a copy command. Okay, what it is saying, copy files folders between a container and the local file system. Okay, so let's try this. Okay, so let's see the first container, docker ps. Now let's say what is there here in the current directory. I have this rajendra.ovpn. okay, this is the VPN configuration file. Now I want to copy this to the container. So how I can do that? So I have docker copy command. I'll copy Rajendra OVPN. Where I need to copy, it's inside the your nginx. Okay, this is nginx name. Okay, so before that, let me just make it Rajendra ppn to the your nginx. Okay, you can see automatically it is giving your nginx here, and you want to copy with maybe see copy dot log. Okay, I am copying this using a copy.log file. Okay, so if I go inside the container, you will see the file named copy.log. Okay, now if I run this file rajendra.opn will be copied using this name copy.log. Okay, now let's go inside the container. If you see, we are not giving any specific directories. Okay, so it will copy into the home directory. Now let's go inside the container. We know that how to go inside the container. We have a docker exec command. Okay, docker exec -it, then give your container name and then sh. Okay, so we are inside it. Now if I do ls, here you can see that the copy.log is there. Okay, now let's say I want to copy any file from here to the local machine. Okay, that is also perfectly fine. Okay, if you see, there is no something like a docker SharePoint, something like docker entry point .sh file. Okay, so let's copy that. What I'll do, docker copy your nginx : this file I just want to copy in the current directory. Okay, now if I do ls, you can see that file should be somewhere here with a docker, docker entry point .sh. Okay, if you see earlier ls command, there is no such file, right? But this time we copied it and that file command got copied. Okay, so just to be clean, I'm just removing that. Let me just remove docker entry point .sh. Okay, so now that's done. Let's see the next command, docker -h. Okay, so we have seen build, commit, copy. Create is to create the container. Diff, inspect changes to the files or directory on a container's file system. That also we can see. History, show the history of an image. Okay, if you want to see the history of any images, let's see that. If I do docker history, before that let's apply -h on that. So what it is saying, docker history options, and then image. Okay, so if you want to print sizes and dates in some human readable format, in that case we can use the -H. Okay, first let me do the Docker images. If you want to see the history, let Docker images. Okay, so I want to see the history of this image, so what I'll do, Docker history, Docker history hyphen capital H, and give the image name. Okay, now if you run this, now it is showing a proper information here. Image ID 10 days ago, this is happening. Okay, before that what happened, there is no track, but all this happened on the 10 days ago only. Okay, so this is how you can see the history of that image. Is there anything that got changed? Okay, now once that is done, let's go back and let's see the next command. Okay, so the next command that we are seeing is the next command, create diff events. We export history, images we have seen. Okay, info we have seen. Okay, then there are two important commands, load and save. Okay, first let's see that. Now let's say we have this image, Docker images. Okay, and you don't want this image to be pushed on the remote repository. Okay, in that case, even though if you don't want to push this image to remote repository, but you need this image on some other system, in that case we cannot just directly copy this name nginx, and we cannot put directly it on the another machine. Okay, in that case it will give error because it has some layers. Okay, it has some layers, and those layers have interdependency. Okay, so to avoid that, we have a proper way to save the image, create a tar file of it, and then pass that tar file, and then extract that tar file and use that as an image. Okay, so that we can do easily. So let's see how we can do that. So this is the nginx image I want to pass to the next another machine. Okay, so let's do that. Sorry. So Docker save, we have a save command. If you see the help of Docker save, what we have to do, Docker save image. Okay, and then output file. Okay, so let me do this, Docker save image. Okay, that is nginx, and then -o, I want to give the file name as nginx.tar. Okay, now if I run this, but here you need to remember that you should also give the tag of the image. Okay, so tag of image is nothing but a version. Okay, so in our case the tag of the image is a latest. Okay, so let me just give that latest. Okay, now if I run this, what will happen, it will create a one tar file. You can see that nginx.tar file got created. Okay, now to use this image, what I'll do, let me do first Docker images. Okay, this image is there, so what I'll do, first I'll stop the container Docker ps, or I'll delete it, but for delete as well I had to stop it, Docker stop your nginx. Okay, now container is stopped. Let me remove that, Docker rm your container. Okay, it got removed. Now if I do Docker ps -a as well, there is no container. Now container is not there, so let me see the images, Docker images, one image is there. So let me first remove this image, Docker rmi, and just give the image name. So now it is removed. Okay, so once the image is removed, now let's say this is my another machine where I want this nginx machine to be run. Okay, instead of taking it from the Docker hub, or there is no such Docker image from the Docker hub. Okay, so in that case what I'll do, I'll just copy this tar file nginx.tar, which is a tar of image, I'll pass that image to the machine where we want to use it. Now let's say I just copied that and I have this nginx.tar. So now let's see how I can load this. Okay, so for that what I have to do, docker load nginx. Okay, first see the -h. So what it is showing, we have to give the input. Okay, so docker load, I'll give -i and then my nginx.tar. okay, so if you see now, if I run it, you can see that what it is doing, loading layer. Okay, so now it is loading. Okay, if I do now docker images, you can see that now this image as is got loaded. Okay, here we deleted that image here, right? But now with that tar file we extracted it and loaded that image on another machine. Okay, so now this is how we can, without Docker Hub as well, we can pass the images. Okay, but it's always a headache to just bundle that image and pass it to the other machine, and then in that machine start this. Okay, so now let's see the next command. Okay, so docker -h, again let's do that. Now this inspect command will see if you want to kill the running container, we can do kill command. So let's see that command. Okay, if I do docker ps, there is no running container, so let me first start this. Docker run -ds to start in the background or a daemon, then let me give the name is equal to nginx, and then image name also, it's a nginx. Okay, so now if I run this, it will start the container. Okay, so if you see docker ps, the docker container is running, it just started 3 seconds ago. Okay, and the name is nginx. Okay, that is what we have given. Okay, now container is running. If you want to kill this running container, then docker kill and give that container name. Okay, so you can see that container got killed. If I do docker ps, let me do docker ps -a, you can see that one container is exited. Okay, then again we know that how to start this container. If I do docker start nginx, so it will be started. So if you do docker ps -a, you can see that container got started and the status is up for 2 seconds. Okay, so now let's see the some more commands. We have seen load, okay, logs, pause, port command, list ports mapping or scientific mapping for the container. So let me show you that. Docker port and then give container name. Container name is nginx. So there is a not any port which is exposing from this container. Okay, so that's why it is not giving any output, but we'll see that in the next video where we have a multiple ports exposed, and with the help of this we can see that. Okay, now there is a search command, run command, this restart, rename, push, pull. Okay, this push pull we'll see, okay, in the next video where we are going to create the images from the docker file. Okay, then this port, just now we have seen rename, we have seen restart, rmi, run, save. So now let's see the search command. Okay, so search the Docker Hub for images. Okay, so this, it will go to the Docker Hub and it will search if there is any image with this name. Okay, so let's use that docker search. Okay, docker search, and let's say I want to search the image busybox. Okay, now if I run this, you can see that it has searched all the images which are named with the busybox. Okay, so what you can see, the busybox image directly available, busybox image, then there is a program busybox image is there, radial busybox plus, okay, armf busybox. Okay, so there are a lot of busybox images are there, but we mostly use this busybox. Okay, the first one. All people will use all this busybox image depending on their requirement, but for us, if you want to use it, we can use this simply busybox image. Okay, now Now let's see the next command. Let me do the docker p-h again. Okay, sorry, docker -h. So the next command we should see, search we have done, start. Okay, so there is one important command is a stats. Okay, so let's see. Now if you see, I have a docker ps, one container is running, but what I want to see is, I want to see the memory footprint or the CPU footprint. Okay, that means a stats of the usage of all these resources in the container. Okay, so that means from this time to this time, how much memory or the how much CPU is utilized by this particular container. Okay, so this container is nothing but our application. Okay, so with this command, with docker stats command, we can easily see what is the usage or what is the footprint of all these resources. Okay, so let's see how it looks. Okay, so do docker stats. Okay, and then we need to give the container name. Okay, if I do docker stats nginx, here you can see that container id is this, name of the container is this. So you can see that it is not utilizing any percent of the CPU. It's working in 0.00. Okay, so it's hardly taking time of the CPU because there is nothing heavy running inside that container. Okay, the next thing is memory usage. So how much memory it is using? It's just using 2.75 MB of memory. Okay, so what is the memory that got allocated for this container? We know that even though very few much means very less memory is assigned to that particular container, but still container feels like I have huge memory access. Okay, so that's why here limit it is showing it's a 16 GB, almost 16 GB, whatever the your host machine capacity is. Now, so this is the usage, this is the limit. So how much percent we are using? It's just a 0.02% memory we are using. Okay, now how much network IO are happening? Okay, how much data is getting consumed by this particular container is 8.65 KB. Okay, is there any block IO operations are happening? Okay, that means database related to, means file related. So it's just a 4.1 KB of write read operations are happening, and then this is the process ID. Okay, so now let me just stop it. So this is how you can easily just with the help of docker stat command, you can see that how much memory or how much CPU got utilized by this particular container. Okay, okay, so now let's see the next command. So we have seen stats command, then stop command we have seen, create a tag. Okay, if you want to create a tag for your container or image, you can use the tag command. Then top, display the running process of a container. If you want to see that, docker top, and then give container name, let's nginx. So this top command, what it is showing is, if there are multiple processes running inside your container, then out of those, which process is consuming more resources. Okay, so here you can see that if you see the help of it, what it is saying, display the running processes of a container. Okay, so in this particular container there are only two running processes. Okay, the first process ID is this, second process ID is this. Okay, now we have already seen unpause all the processes, and then there is the update command. So if you want to update the configuration of the containers, in that case we can use the update command. Version command we have already seen, and then there is a wait command, block until one or more containers stop, then print their exit codes. Okay, so this wait will, if let's say you have 4-5 containers, and if those containers are depending on each other, in that case what you can do is you can wait for each other containers, so that your you can see what is the exit code of those container, and you can decide whether those containers successfully exited or not. Okay, now I think we have covered all the required commands. Okay, we are going to see all other commands as well in the next video, where we'll see how to build the images, how to pull images, okay, how to push the images. Okay, all this step by step Docker build process we are going to see in the next video. Okay, so till then, bye bye, thanks.